thing, right? When people get too comfortable, they the mask drops, right? Which in a way could be a good thing. And then we may not like what is being revealed, like,
Yeah. Definitely not fake. Definitely not fake. So that's good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But it's like,
wait, adults with this style desperately crave intimacy but harbor deep fears of abandonment and rejection, which is most people in the world.
are the most unhealthy.
She's a psychotherapist. Ambivalent relationships.
Did you manage to find its official definition? I'm just wondering.
Oh, of
ambivalent connections, for instance.
Let's do a search.
Okay.
There is this term, seems like a popular term, ambivalent attachment. Also known as anxious occupied, is an insecure attachment style stemming from inconsistent and unpredictable childhood caregiving. Wait, adults with this style desperately crave intimacy but harbor deep fears of abandonment and rejection, which is most people in the world. Oh wow, someone wrote an article. Let me just share this with you. It's very interesting, I think.
You can just pick it apart.
It says dangerous relationships. Why ambivalent friends are the most
unhealthy.
She's a psychotherapist.
I saw a frenemy above somebody's comment before this.
Oh.
Yeah. In a way, it is like a frenemy, right?
Yes.
A friend who doesn't have your interest at heart, actually.
Yeah, they don't have your back.
Posing as a friend. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't think of it that way initially. It's just like connections, you don't really care if they disappear. Like, okay lah, got also okay lah, don't have also okay lah, got nothing much to say, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's actually more serious than that.
Yeah. I guess it depends on which side we are on, maybe.
The funny thing is, this word ambivalent to me only surfaced in my vocabulary and among my friends like not too long ago. Like people never use the word ambivalent, right? Yeah. Like you just say so lah, you know, don't really know well, no, not very close.
Yeah.
But then this word started happening. Then I used to think that, what is ambivalent? Like people will say, oh, I'm ambivalent about it. Then I'm like, what do you mean? Speak English, you know. I just get very irritated with people who would use that word. I think one day I came to realize when they say that, they mean I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, basically. Then just say, I don't like it lah. I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I thought, okay, is it just sitting on the fence? Ambivalent is also a bit like I'm sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion.
I think in this particular article, right, they seem to be saying ambivalent friends are toxic, but not, I don't know, I need to read the full article to get the gist. But if we say someone is ambivalent towards the relationship, towards the friendship, it's like saying they are toxic. I don't quite agree with that.
Yeah.
Because ambivalent it's more like can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, I'm fine, you know, whether it is this or that. I'm not committed. Yeah.
I think not the non-committal is a good definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would see it that way.
Yeah.
How dangerous is that? I think the danger only comes in if it's one-sided. Let's say I look at this friendship as I'm not very committed to this friendship, but the other person puts in more commitment and thinks that this relationship is more than it is.
Yeah.
I think that maybe it's dangerous.
Yes.
Because both of you
actually for both also, yeah. For you too, like you think that it's actually nothing, but you know, this person is hanging on to your every word and holding you to a lot of things that you were just saying for fun, but they think you mean it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lot of miscommunication in a way.
Yeah.
about what this friendship is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, I can see, I've had experience of this where I don't see the friendship as us being very close, but the other person sees that we are close. And I think the problem is because I see things or I see the world in a way that has more depth, but the other person doesn't. So for them, that is depth. For me, it's not, it's shallow. And that's why I would regard that friendship or relationship as okay, it's just very shallow. Because in that in our communication, I can't even go deep. So how can it be a deep friendship? Right? So that's my perspective. But
Sure.
then the other person may think like, oh,
Oh,
but
we
we
have a
go very
very
deep.
deep connection. Yeah.
That's like, oh my God, it's such a mismatch, you know?
Yeah. Do you have many of these friendships? I'm just
Not
curious.
many, but I do
Okay.
have.
Okay.
And sometimes it's hard, to like how to tell the person like actually we're not very close one. How can you
Ouch. Yeah.
yeah, how can you say that? How to say that? You don't, you just let it be, you let it kind of ride it out and
Correct.
let it die a natural death because it will die a natural death ultimately
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
this kind of mismatch
Yeah.
friendships. But it's quite interesting, right? I mean, if we look at
Mm,
it, because people have this idea about who you are
mm,
and where the friendship is, which
mm.
may not necessarily be the reality.
Yeah. And perception is so subjective, right?
Yeah,
What I perceive of, what's happening between us is could be vastly different from what the other people think. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And for me, the problem is also what makes it worse is if these relationships or friendships are with people you see quite often. Okay, if you
Mm,
don't see them often, it's quite clear.
yeah.
The lack of frequency of meeting, contact, that's just so, I mean, thank God for those things, right? It's a very
Yes.
clear indicator, yeah. But when you, because of circumstances, tend to see each other very often, then it's really very like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, like what
yeah,
what is actually going on between us, Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know, for me, rightly or not, I need to approve of that person to slowly grow close to that person. If
Mm,
if the person off and on does or says things that I don't approve of, then I kind of like, okay, cannot. You know what I mean? Then you kind of distance yourself. You kind of find, okay, you got to find a new position now. Okay, that was not the right position. Yeah,
mm.
yeah. And I don't know, is it wrong to need that? I need to approve of their
Um,
philosophy, their vision in life, and how they react to things happening to them.
I don't think it's wrong. I think it's very healthy to be able to move because that's part of growth, isn't it? When when you grow, you will outgrow certain friendships. You will outgrow certain people. And you can't be tied to I mean, you're only tied together because of your past or whatever past you shared, right? And if you're tied to that, but I think then you're holding yourself back, and it's okay to always shift your position. It's very normal,
Mm,
part of life to I wouldn't maybe the words we use will be a bit different, like where
mm,
if you use the word approve, it sounds like judgy, but I don't
mm,
think you come from a judgy perspective. It's more like,
mm. I'm not
okay,
comfortable.
yeah, it's more like,
Yeah.
okay, we have a different stand on this thing
Mm,
and I need to move a little bit,
mm,
you know, and
mm,
I and the adjustment may mean that we cannot talk about that particular topic
mm,
because we don't have the same frequency in that topic.
mm,
But we may have a connection in another topic.
mm,
But that I think inevitably will affect the friendship because then you know that the level of connection may be different. may no longer be the
Sure.
way you thought, and then you have to, I think adjustments are very important.
Okay.
Because by adjusting, we also know where our limits are,
Right.
you know, and if we don't move right, if we're constantly the same, we won't know when it's time to, you know, move, or where's your limit. I think we will be blind to it. Then we'll just take it on, right? Like someone who at first is nice, then they become nicely nasty, and then they become whatever, right? It's just it's like we give them permission, we train them in how they can treat us. And if we don't adjust, I think that becomes a bit dangerous. And it is okay to adjust, I think. I feel.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, it will be like there's no map. It's like you're just walking around blind, lost. Yeah. Directionless, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what troubles me with relationships that I'm still not even sure is it supposed to be an ambivalent one or not, is the gossip. When people gossip in front of me about other people, that really kills my enthusiasm for
Yeah.
the friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Do I have any friends who do a lot of that? Actually, thank God, not that much. But you know, it happens occasionally where I also believe people who gossip about other people will gossip about you, right?
Of
So
course.
then you tend to be a bit more
Yes.
careful, right?
You're
In
wary also.
what you share, because you know that whatever you share is going to be gossip about.
Yeah.
So I think that, but I think we all have that friend or friends whom we are quite close to, but then they have this tendency to be very gossipy at the same time. You know, like maybe they behave a certain way when they're with certain people, then they tend to be very gossipy. It's like a part of their personality trait to, I don't know, perform, maybe, I don't know. And yeah, then it is when during times like that when I like take a like almost like, oh, I forgot that this person is like this, because this person doesn't do it with me, but this person does it with someone else, right? And then you're like, oh, okay, I forgot, but I'm now being reminded that this is what this person does. Then maybe for the next few times that I'm with this person, I'm a bit more careful. But then we slip into this maybe close interaction again, and then and then you catch this person go into that habit again, like, oh, okay, I'm being reminded again. So I think I know what you mean when you say you're not sure whether it's an ambivalent relationship or not, because it comes and goes.
It's the growth is not linear. It's like forward, backwards, backwards. And I sometimes feel very sad. Like, why is it like that? You know? Then I feel like, oh, really, people are so messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But but you know, not everyone will even take time to think about this sort of thing. So they probably are not even aware that this is how the friendship is, right? Like they don't even know that, oh, this friendship is going, you know, there's ebbs and flow, and they probably don't even realize it, they don't see it. And but then, you know, you observe all these things like, oh my God, where is this friendship going, right?
Correct. Yeah. And sometimes you're not at a level. Okay, I've never had, maybe when we were much younger, that group friendship thing was very easy to just sail through and let's all do this, But now I find it very hard. Like, I don't want to do this. I mean, we may be in a way a group that formed for whatever reason, circumstantial. But I don't always want to do what you all want to do. And that is the other thing that, and then I become very concerted about saying, no, I really don't want to do this. And they don't understand why. Yeah. So I just don't feel like going to this particular restaurant to eat, have dinner, to go and see the view of MBS. It's not my thing. To me, it's the dumbest thing. Spend so much money on this freaking restaurant the food is probably not nice because they keep promoting their drinks. So that's a sign it's a drinking place. And then you stand at the freaking balcony and watch the MBS. No, not my thing. Yeah.
Not your thing.
Yeah. Then they explain, no, I don't want to go. I don't enjoy doing this. Yeah. And it sounds like retard.
I guess when we're in our 20s is when we learn how to negotiate all this within ourselves. Like, is this for me? Is this not for me? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to enjoy it and see whether I like it or not later on. Right?
Yes,
there's a lot
try first.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on in our 20s, right? Like, because you're so new to life, right? A lot of experiences you don't have yet. But when you reach a certain age, you already know, okay, this is just going to be like this.
Yeah, I'm not going to enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's far easier to say no.
Yeah. And I don't like staying out late and sleeping not enough and then feeling so exhausted the next day. I really dislike. That's one of my pet peeves now.
Yeah, me too. If I go to bed late, right, next day when I wake up, because I wake up at the same time, no matter what time I go to bed, I feel like I'm drunk, like a hangover, even though there's no alcohol involved,
Jet
right?
lag.
I feel why I feel so hungover, It's just a very, the feeling is not a nice feeling.
Yeah. For me, it's I feel jet lag. Yeah. Then I feel a bit nauseous.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. I think we feel nauseous when we don't have enough rest because the liver and the gallbladder working very hard. It's not working not working enough to expel
get rid
whatever.
of your
That's why we feel that way.
Yeah.
Ambivalent
Yeah.
friendships, I think,
I have relatives also whom I'm ambivalent towards.
I think that's very normal. I think that's very normal. I think it would be more common
among
relatives than friends, right? Because friends you can choose, relatives you cannot.
Yeah.
So I think, well, in a sense, we don't see relatives that often. Only special occasions. So that's a blessing.
I'm sure I'm an ambivalent friendship to other people too. I'm very sure of that. Yeah. So it goes both ways for sure. It's very weird. I have friendships where I don't see that person very much, but when I do, I have a very, very good time.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then I remember why we are friends and that we are okay to not even speak for a long time and it still survives. And sometimes I'm quite amazed. And yet that I have friendships where I see them very often, sometimes a few times a week, circumstantially lah, okay? And I just get triggered a lot. Yeah. And then it's like that I can't move forward. Sometimes I think I have when things are going well and then something will happen. It's not even a big thing, it's like something is said on group chat. Or to me face to face and it just it's like the sandcastle is destroyed again. Gotta rebuild.
I think sometimes we need to come to a point of acceptance that with people that we are friends with and we are tied together by a situation or circumstance, right? Like let's say course mates, right? You go for a course together. We're tied together. That's our one common interest. But all of our learning curves are different. We all don't curve at the same point.
Yes.
And And in that sense, even though we're on the same journey, we're all on different paths.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that can feel sometimes quite lonely.
Yes. Yes.
Because you're in it, but yet you're not.
Absolutely. I do feel lonely. That's weird, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It can happen. And even though you think like, oh yeah, you know, but we are on this journey together, and yet it just feels like you're on it alone. it's a very weird feeling. It's like you're like in and out, right? At the same time.
Yes. Yes. Like I've not made up my mind whether I'm in or out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're both.
I'm not committed internally.
Yeah.
I'm not committed. Yeah.
But then you're both. So, you know, then in my mind, right, I would, like, if I'm caught in this kind of situation, in my mind, then I would say, oh, but we're not really friends. I would tell myself, we're not really friends, because a friend means someone that I can really share something deeper. But there's no real connection. Our connection is only because of the course. So we're not really friends. So I can call them course-mates, or, I mean, whatever the situation is, right? And that's our connection. But more than that, you know, and sometimes I ask myself, if I'm in deep, deep shit, if I call this person, will this person help me? And a lot of times I don't think they will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I believe they will.
Mm.
It's hard in the right place, but behavior that I'm not always comfortable with, if you know what I mean. So that makes it very, very hard for me.
Yeah.
Like, really, I know intentions are good, trying to be good, striving to be good. But just behavioral and attitude that sometimes is a bit off tangent. Yeah, then that makes me like, oh, like, okay, do a double take. And because I'm very aware of people's behaviors. I don't know whether it's good or not, but I don't even think the rest of them do that. I don't think so. Yeah, like I don't think they're so conscious or aware.
Awareness is not common.
Yeah. So there is that. Because of that, I feel there is for them it's very easy to pair up in a way. You know, within a small group or a biggish group, that there will also be smaller cliques, right? Certain people just connect better. And I always find that I can never pick one. I cannot. It's like looking at a box of chocolate, it's like, not really there. I like dark chocolate, but I don't like the orange in it. You know, it's that, So I'm struggling with this box of chocolates that every flavor is not perfect for me. And I just cannot put it into my mouth and say, I commit to you. So they end up becoming, in a way, ambivalent, but not in the sense that I don't care about them and they don't care about me, but you know, my heart is still unsure.
Yeah. Do you feel like you need to make a decision in that sense?
Often I have thought about that I need to, and that maybe I'll just leave the group chat and like, you all know where to find me anyway. And just reach out. Yeah, we can still be friends, you know, and do other things. That something will happen that will remind me that they're actually good people. Yeah, then I'll be like, no lah, don't be so hard on people. You know, you're also not perfect. Sometimes when you get triggered, you also say things that you think is the right thing to say, but it could have hurt one of them and they never said it, or they said it between themselves, but not to you. And you don't know about it. So therefore I've not actually left in that sense.
Do you mute group chats?
I do. Yeah, I do. But it's not so much. I can handle the noise. It's just the what you actually said that. For me, it's that, yeah, it's the all the nonsense is fine. I can go through drivel very quickly. But like when somebody says something that to me is, then I get very uncomfortable. Yeah. Like how can you say that about this person?
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, right? When people get too comfortable, the mask drops, right? Which in a way could be a good thing. And then we may not like what, what is being revealed, like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely not fake.
Yeah.
Definitely not fake. So that's good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But it's like, wow, like you
Yeah.
say, how can you, yeah, like
Yeah.
no filter sometimes.
Yeah.
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 It was I have had experience with people who always on the surface, right? And in your presence, they look like they're people who do the right thing, they're very polite. And then when the mask slips, right, they can do things or share things on the group chat, which is so shocking.
Oh
I'm like,
my.
I never thought this person is like this, right? And then that's where in my mind, like, oh my God, I really don't want to be friends with this person ever again. Not that this person has done anything to me.
Correct. Correct.
Then I
Yeah.
have to negotiate within my mind, right? Okay, this person has been really nice to me. Okay, so I can keep that. But then this person has already done this, then so disrespectful towards women, because he shared this or he shared that. I'm like,
Oh,
where do I
oh,
place this? You know what I mean?
oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
That's
just
hard.
gets, yeah, into this. Then I feel like even though this person is not that way, I mean, I wouldn't compare it with being involved with someone like a narcissist who love bombs you and then who then does nasty things to you. It's not to that extreme, right? But I think the principle is still the same, where the person is nice to you, pleasant enough, polite, do favors, and yet at the same time do,
Shocks you. Yeah.
yeah. So then
That
it,
is
yeah,
incongruent
yes,
behavior.
very
Yeah.
incongruent.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
also not, that's also very odd,
very
very
odd.
questionable. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Then you definitely like pin a question mark to it, right?
Yeah.
You go
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm not sure where this is.
Correct. It's
Yeah.
like 2 plus 2 becomes 5. It
Yes.
doesn't make sense. So what is it? Is it
Yeah.
5 or is it
Yeah.
2 plus 2? So are you 5 or are you 2 plus 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a part of you feels like, okay, this person is not 100% reliable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is what I meant earlier on when I say, if I need help, will this person help me?
Okay.
Yeah, this is what I meant, because in my mind already, I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Because it's already a question mark. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It
It's
can be
very
tiring.
it's very hard to find people who share completely your values, your
Yeah.
yeah,
It's impossible, I feel.
attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think at least has to be 85%
Mm,
minimum, right?
mm,
Like an A,
yes. At least an
80%, 90%
at
A.
least an A minus.
Yes, at least an A minus. Yeah, yeah. I think so. If you had to give a friendship score, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. I always feel like, okay, sometimes we just need to let nature take its course, because if it's not going to work, we don't have to make a decision now. It will just drop off just naturally. Yeah.
I think that's very good advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we overthink
Mm,
and then you get so stressed about it. It's like, let it
mm,
be. In
mm,
the end, I always remind myself also that the fruits that people bear are
mm,
the proof of who they are, what kind of
mm,
people they are. Yeah.
mm.
Because a bad tree will never produce good fruit. It's
Yes.
impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just watch the fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
can say whatever, they can act whatever, but in the end, what have they produced in terms of the friendship? Yeah. What
Mm,
has come out of the friendship?
mm.
Yeah.
I had this particular friendship with someone who, it's funny, I remember the last time I met up with this person, right, was more than a year ago. And during this meetup, right, I knew then that I feel like this will be the last time I'm going to see this person. Like, I don't really want to make an attempt to meet up. And then more than a year has passed, and neither of us have made any
Okay.
attempts.
And this was before you actually met for the last time, or
No,
during the
that happened.
interaction.
Nothing bad happened, but I just felt like, okay, it just feels like it's not something that I want to maintain anymore, which is very,
Very good, right? Very enlightening, and it just gives you this resolution.
Yeah. I mean, we still keep in touch by text and all that, but
Casual,
attempt to meet, no.
Yeah.
It's not even, it feels like it's too much effort.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's not worth the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have a question about people who blow hot and cold. You know, those friendships that you think, hey, you're actually getting quite close, and then suddenly they just become a bit indifferent to you and a bit brush off in a way. Yeah. I have one friend like that. I don't know her I have not known her for a long time, maybe 3 years only. And it started very well. It's just one of those weird connections that we had a lot to talk about when we had our first coffee, because she eats very clean too. So, you know, there was this, wow, like finally I found someone who is eating sensibly and I'm not being judged by, you know, what I eat. Then it became, of course, like other things, you know, our cats, and then our faith and everything. Then we started like seeing each other very often, like once a week. We would go for mass, and then we would go and have lunch. So that would be our routine once a week. Um, and then all of a sudden, sometimes like when I see something that I think she will be interested in, you know, like how we would forward each other things.
Yeah.
Then I get like no reply, or I get a small thumbs up, you know. Then I'm like, like as if, you know what I mean, very cold. Yeah. So then there were also occasions when I bumped into her, and because she lives very near me, she's practically my neighbor lah. I said, I actually went up to her to say, do you want to live back? And she just kind of like, no, it's okay. Like, but in a very like brush off, like almost brushing me away kind of thing, no? Yeah. So I was like, that's not very nice. You know, I mean, after all, I'm always the one driving. Yeah. And there were several occasions like that. Always when she's with other people, it's like, you know, yeah. But and then I always tell myself, cannot be. She's like that. She's a very nice person. Like, you know, one on one when we're actually talking about things, I cannot put the two together. Yeah. Then recently she lost her pet, as in the pet passed away, and she was grieving very badly. Yeah. So I actually sent her a condolence gift, and I was kind of accompanying her because she was very desperate for a vet that could help the dog. At the time, the dog was still alive, and I was giving her like different contacts and all that. So then we were communicating quite a fair bit. And last night I saw her, and she just looked at me and she just went like, oh, like that, and then she just popped off, and I was like, so weird. Yeah, I mean, like hot and cold, you know, it's the on-off switch thing. Yeah.
It's very hard to behave with people like that. I mean, I have encounters, not with friends, but with neighbors. You know, like there are neighbors where you consistently say hi. You know that next time you see them, they'll say hi, they'll like wave or whatever. Then there are people who like say, oh, hi, good morning. And then the next day you see them, they pretend not to see you.
Yeah.
Or they look on the ground, then they walk.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with, like, it's very hard to, then you have to think like, okay, then.
Is this a hello day or is this a don't look happy day?
Yeah. And I think with friendships, it's even harder, right? Like how much do you want to commit to the friendship? Like how much energy you want to put in?
Correct.
Do you even want to continue to send a text and
invest in it? Yeah, correct.
like, do you even want to or not? Or you decide, okay, lah, forget it, lah. You know, this person's not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very odd.
Yeah. So I came to a point, like even before her dog episode, I never texted her already. I never even forwarded her things on social media. I just told myself, I don't need this. Yeah. So I just left it be. Then because of the dog, then, we became communicating more again. Yeah. So then there were, occasions when she was with other people that whom I know she's close to. And the person whom she's close to is the one indicating to her, hey, she's waving at you. She's asking you something. Do you know what I mean? It's like other people can see that. Obviously, this other person is normal. I'm saying that this person is abnormal, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
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 It's like, for me, it's like, Sudahlah, I really don't need this. You need my help, fine,
Yeah.
I will help you. I'm not going to be like, I withhold help because you are like that to me, but it's still, I don't
very
know.
odd.
Yeah.
Very, very odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inconsistent. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
And sometimes she will initiate meetups. So it's like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the one initiating it.
And when you meet up, it's fine, right?
When you meet up, it's fine.
I have a theory about this.
Okay, tell me, share with me.
I feel people who initiate meetups and they're fine doing meetup is because they need you. They want something. They want something out of you, whether it's your time, your energy, or maybe they're lonely, right? They need some company. And then other times when there are other people around, they don't need you. So the body language tells you exactly that. Like, oh, I don't need you now don't come into my space. Which is not a nice thing to experience on the receiving end, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
These sort of friendships are like, I don't know. Sometimes it's so hard to.
Not genuine, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, like human beings are so screwed up. Like, yeah.
I mean, if somebody, asks you if you want a lift back, at least stand up and say, hey, how are you? No, I don't need to. I've got a ride, but thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was what I would say. You know what I mean?
That's a normal, proper,
correct.
polite.
Yeah. And I might even follow it up with a text later on to say, hey, thanks for offering me a lift. It was good to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to let the person know I appreciate what you do. Yeah.
Yes.
Even if I'm not close to the person, I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah. If not, it's like a power play, right? It's like almost saying like, I'm doing you a favor by letting you bring me over.
Yeah. And now I'm with my friends, my posse. I don't need you. Like, sorry lah, I don't need you also lah. I don't have a posse, but it's fine. I don't need a posse.
Yeah. It's really a power play.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do it unconsciously, this unconscious power play. Like,
so
maybe it's like for ego satisfaction, and they may not even be conscious. They just feel very satisfied. Oh, I did this person or whatever. They're just very odd.
I always find it a bit like not right in the head. Behave like that. All right, not right in the heart lah. Okay.
Yeah. We heard this saying, right? Hurt people.
It's true.
Yeah. So they've got a lot of unresolved stuff still somewhere in their system, right? They have not worked through it. Maybe they're not even conscious of it. And that's why they do strange things.
Surrender them to Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will have to answer to him anyway, all these things that they've done.
Yeah. So just have to let it slide.
Yeah.
And let people
don't
walk.
take it. Yeah.
Yeah. They let them walk their path in whatever direction.
Yes.
Because sometimes also we don't have a bird's eye view.
Of course. Yeah. Sure. I don't claim to understand, why people behave that way, but it's just very It's very inconsistent, and like
Yeah.
you say, you yourself don't know how to react also.
Yeah. You know, over the weekend, I met up with I think you may have met him. My flatmate from Chipby Gardens, Holland Village days, George, the Canadian guy. Maybe you did
Never
meet
met
him.
George, no.
Never met.
Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't seen him, what, 30 years?
Wow. And he's been here all along.
No, no, no. He went back and then he and
Uh,
his wife came for holiday.
oh, okay.
And after 30 years, we sat down, had a conversation. It's like he never
So
left.
this was the one that you told yourself, I don't need to.
Oh, no, 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 no. I mean, we kept in touch on and off
Okay.
via email. And I think we did maybe 2 Zoom calls ever since Zoom came into existence. But other than that, you know, we're not very. I mean, he'll send pictures of his kids, you know, and we'll just swap stories every now and then.
Yeah.
But it was so nice to see him and his wife. My first
Oh,
time
that's
meeting his wife,
lovely.
sat down and had this conversation. It's like we just continue where we left off. Yeah, it was really nice. So I mean, they're now in Malaysia
Okay.
for a month, and then they'll come back here again. So we may or may not meet up when he comes back around because he only has a few hours before his flight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so but it was nice, you know, like to see each other now gray and with, you know, more
Oh,
lines on our
interesting.
faces.
Yeah. 30
Yeah,
years is a lifetime.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, to see you know, see each other so differently. Yeah,
How you have grown
yeah,
also. Yeah,
yeah.
as people.
And life
Oh,
stages are
okay.
different now. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So that was
That's
nice.
nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so much for friendships.
Yeah. So much for friendships. Oh, don't
Yeah.
know if even if it's friendship. Some of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are friendships. Yes, I believe they are friendships, true friendships, but they do not need to exist as a group friendship, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
I always feel
Mm.
that if I interacted with them singly, individually, our friendship will actually grow better. But because it's a group dynamic, a lot of things are mutated and adulterated, and it
Mm.
could be because of pressure,
Yeah.
group pressure. Yeah. So I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like group friendships anymore.
Yeah. Like you say, it can get
Muddy. Yeah.
adulterated, it can
Correct.
get muddy because of certain pressure, and people behave differently. Yeah. They do behave differently.
Yeah.
Here's to genuine friendships
Yes.
and good
And
friendships, and may they sustain and feed us well, nourish us. Yeah.
and
And
help us to be better people.
yes, yes, for sure.
Better friends. Yeah.
Better friends, better
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and yeah, just and allow whatever, like especially you know those that will inevitably drop off, just allow it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like fruits. Overripe, drop. And then rot on the ground.
Yeah. Don't what fruit is it that you have to pluck before they are ripened?
You know,
Yeah.
durian? I have no clue. I'm not a gardener.
Yeah, I think some fruits are like that, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to pluck them before they drop, or else it's not gonna be.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure you
So
can Google that.
yes. Yes.
So funny. Yeah, don't wait for it to overripe and drop. Pluck it, get rid of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for this conversation.
Thank you again, as
Yeah.
usual.